the talent, the shadow, the ladies' man, the heartbreaker, the thief. Hey, hello everybody! For those who don't know me, I am Supersonic 407, and for this particular moveset, I will be covering my most favorite PlayStation All-Star of all time, Sly Cooper. From birth, he was next in line in the Cooper clan, a long line of master thieves who steal from other big criminals around to inherit the Thievius Raccoonus, an ancient book that held all of the tricks, skills, and secrets of stealing, passed down from many generations of raccoon thieves in the Cooper line before him. On the night Sly was supposed to inherit the book, his family was attacked by a group of rival thieves led by a spiteful robotic mastermind named Clockwork. The villains murdered Sly's family, took the book, and left Sly an orphan. It was at the orphanage where he would meet his friends, Bentley, the brains, and Murray, the burden turned brawn. Together they grew up becoming a group of highly skilled bandits, eventually taking down Clockwork and his villainous cohorts, reclaiming the Thievius Raccoonus, and would go on to become the greatest group of thieves of their time, known the world over as the Cooper Gang. And for his next big heist, he plans to infiltrate and steal the win from his competition in Super Smash Bros. So, sneaking right into things, we decided to make Sly a lightweight character. For this moveset, we want to emphasize Sly's ability as a thief, so he should be jumping into situations with great speed, precision, and maneuverability. So just like his games, getting caught and attacked is the last thing you want to happen. But with proper usage of Sly's kit, including his access to wall jumping while clinging and crawling, that should be no issue. Just so you all know, we are aware that Sly did make an appearance in PlayStation All-Stars. But just like how BJ did with Ratchet, we did not look at that game at all. We only used the original source games when building this moveset. Just wanted to quickly get that out of the way. Though just like with Ratchet, Sly's games were more than enough to fill out his attacks, especially when utilizing his unique fighting style centered around his main tool. The only other heirloom left behind by his father, aside from the Thievius Raccoonus itself, the Cooper family cane. He's able to take full advantage of his cane with a wide variety of different attacks, some self-taught, and others learned by his ancestors from the pages of the Thievius Raccoonus. Of his self-taught skills, we'll be using the first for his jab. He can have a 2-hit semi-spammable jab that has Sly swing his cane horizontally back and forth, his usual basic attack in all of his games. A neat little disjointed move to help keep opponents at bay. For his dash attack, this can be the first to utilize a move learned from the Thievius Raccoonus, which also just so happens to be the very first ability that Sly learned from it. The Knockout Dive, pioneered by Drake Cooper. This has Sly dive forward while spinning his cane at the front of this attack. For Smash, he does the exact same thing, knocking away anyone in his path. On top of that, Sly does a little roll during the end lag of the move, which, if timed correctly, could let Sly duck under higher attacks. For his side tilt, he does the same cane swing attack that he uses for his jab. In fact, it's pretty much the exact same attack. We chose to make it the side tilt as well to allow Sly to walk around while swinging his cane, just like he can do in his games. Just like with his jab, mashing the button has Sly constantly swing his cane back and forth, but you may also walk forward or backward while swinging. Sly won't turn around until you stop swinging the cane, which overall further increases the amount of spacing pressure that he's able to put onto opponents. For Sly's up tilt, he can use his cane uppercut attack, a move used in Sly's 2 and 3. He simply swings his cane in front of himself from low to high to send opponents into the air. And for Sly's down tilt, this will be the first innovative attack that we're giving him, but full credit for this one goes to our buddy Devin, who threw it out there while listening to us work on the moveset. BG and I liked it so much that we just had to put it in. While Sly is laying on his stomach, which is his crouching animation, he'll reach forward with his cane, then very quickly pull it back to do a tripping attack, Any opponent whose feet, and or whatever it is Rob stands on, will take small damage and be tripped to the ground, leaving them open for Sly to follow up afterward. Moving on to Sly's smash attacks, they can be the high-powered charge moves that he learns in Sly 3. For his side smash, he uses the cane push attack. This has Sly thrust his spinning cane with forward momentum, pushing away anyone in his path. A fairly straightforward move, figuratively and literally. His up smash can be the cane jump attack. This has Sly do a jumping backflip while swinging his electrified cane overhead from front to back, dealing major damage to anyone trying to get the drop on him. Think of it like a makeshift screw attack. And just like the screw attack, as well as most smash attacks that have the user jump, this move can be used to dodge over lower attacks. And for his down smash, he can use the charge attack that he actually started using in Sly 2, the cane spin attack. This has Sly spin a few times in place while holding his cane outward, knocking away anyone within the cane's reach, launching foes into lower angles. All of these smash attacks, as you can see, are very simple, but very effective. But they are also Sly's more risky attacks to use, leaving him more open than usual, so be wary of that. Moving right along to Sly's aerial attacks, for his neutral air, we call it the Ninja Spire Strike. This move is an innovated, offensive version of the maneuver that Sly does whenever he uses the Ninja Spire Jump, learned from the pages of his sushi-making ninja ancestor from Japan, Ryoichi Cooper. Though I guess technically he's also used this same kind of attack while fighting General Sao, where Sly quickly does a single spin with his cane held out, knocking away anyone next to him. This move will only hurt opponents to Sly's immediate left or right. However, it does have a nasty little function if used directly over an opponent. If Sly uses the Ninja Spire Strike while directly on top of a foe, Sly will cancel the attack and immediately footstool that opponent, effectively recreating the proper Ninja Spire jump. For his forward air, Sly can simply use his usual aerial attack from all of his games, where he swings his cane forward from high to low. And while it may look like it should, this attack cannot spike opponents, only knock them forward. What it can do, however, is let Sly hang off of the edge of stages or platforms if his cane connects with said ledges while using his forward air, letting Sly fake out opponents who might be expecting him to be in one place, but then he ends up being slightly lower than they anticipated. The back air can have Sly recreate a little attack that he does to the villainous mugshot in one of the Sly Cooper animated shorts. And this is also the only basic attack that has Sly not use his cane, but instead his foot. Sly simply twists his body around and does a straight kick behind himself. It comes out fast, but it's not the strongest move out there. The up air can have Sly spinning his cane over his head like a copter, dealing multi-hitting damage to opponents caught in it before sending them into the air. This move was inspired by the startup animation of Sly's stun attack that he could use in Sly 1. And for Sly's down air, this could have him use the extension of Drake Cooper's dive attack, improved on by Chris Cooper. This allows Sly to dive straight down while spinning his cane at the bottom of the attack. This is another move that, despite looking like it should, cannot spike opponents. Those hit by it will always be knocked aside. When this dive connects with the ground, it creates a small shockwave that also launches opponents away and deals slightly more damage. But the move will cancel itself if it takes too long to hit the ground. So if used off stage, Sly should be able to recover from it so long as he doesn't go in too deep. Sir Augustine Cooper's ability to briefly defy gravity can only help so much. Sly's cane isn't only good at whacking people upside the head, its unique shape also makes it good at latching onto things, including necks. As such, Sly will grab opponents with the use of his cane, reaching forward and pulling them in. Whether or not he gives them a kiss afterwards is up to you. If not, then you can just knee jab him instead with his pummel. For his forward throw, Sly can do a single spin with the foe still latch onto his cane to toss them forward once he completes the spin. His back throw can be his signature stealth slam attack, where Sly turns around and slams the foe into the ground with his cane, bouncing them away. The up throw can have Sly use a little sleight of hand. He places one of his mind caps, learned from Rob McCooper, under the foe's feet, then immediately sets it off with his cane to blow the enemy skyward. Sly quickly puts on a new hat during the end lag of the animation. Then for his down throw, this can have Sly use the terrifying silent obliteration technique, a move where Sly spins around the foe and effectively sends them to the Shadow Realm, never to be seen again. Though that sounds a little too broken for Smash, so instead he'll just bury opponents with this move, which honestly sounds just as bad as being sent to the Shadow Realm, but what can you do? Sly's special attacks will be his most important tools for being able to dance around your opponents before they know what hit them. Just like when Sly danced with Carmelita that one time. She wasn't very happy after that one. For his neutral special, he could use his alarm clock tool from Sly 2. Now, one might think that having something as noisy as an alarm clock would be pretty useless for a thief. But on the contrary, it makes for a perfect distraction tool to make folks look the wrong way. For Smash, Sly will pull out a clock and toss it forward in an arc as a projectile. Foes hit by the flying clock will only take small flinching damage, but it's what happens afterwards that'll make them wish they didn't get out of bed today. Once the clock hits the stage or foe, it'll start ringing, and any foe within earshot of the sound waves it emits will be stunned in place for a bit, unable to move. The higher their damage, the longer they'll be stunned. Not only that, but to pull from the actual functionality of the alarm clock in the Sly games, the ringing will actually draw the attention of assist trophies and Pokemon, distracting them until the alarm clock breaks apart, which doesn't take very long. Time flies a little too quickly for these clocks. Next, for Sly's side special, he could use his Stealth Slide technique. In the games, this was normally only used to allow Sly to quickly traverse around without making any sound, so that he may avoid alerting the guards that he passes by. For Smash, this will have Sly do a sliding dash straight forward. It's very quick, can be used for horizontal recovery, and it won't put him into free fall. But using it in the air will give it a little bit of end lag, making it hard to spam while airborne. Sly is also intangible while using this move as well, meaning it can be used as an alternate dodge roll if you so wish. It also has a number of effects if you happen to stealth slide past an opponent. It deals no damage, but it will briefly invert the opponent's horizontal controls, as if they were disoriented by the raccoon-shaped blur that just sped right past them. On top of that, if opponents hit by the stealth slide are holding an item, Sly will relieve them of said item, taking it for himself. Though this only works if Sly isn't already holding something. The Stealth Slide overall is a great movement tool for disorienting your opponents, whether you close in or disengage, and when used effectively, opponents will have a hard time tracking you down. Next, for Sly's up special, he could use his iconic and ever-reliable Paraglider. This was a tool used to let Sly glide in the air over long distances. For Smash, activating the up special will cause a random updraft to start blowing upward under Sly, so he takes advantage of the situation and reacts by busting out the Paraglider, using the updraft to blow him high into the air. If you only tap the button for his activation, once Sly reaches his max height, he'll ditch the Paraglider. If you continue holding the button down though, he'll keep hold of it and will start gliding, slowing his descent. While gliding, you can hold left or right on the control stick to glide into those directions. He'll ditch the paraglider as soon as you let go of the button, whether you tap the button or hold the button. Getting rid of the paraglider will not put Sly into free fall, but he cannot use his up special again until he touches the stage or is attacked. It's also worth mentioning that the random updraft that sent Sly into the air doesn't only affect Sly. It's an actual wind box that will also blow opponents away as well, making this up special a great disengaging tool if you find yourself under too much pressure. On top of that, it comes with its own offensive option as well. If you press the attack button while gliding, Sly will ditch the glider and use his paraglider dive attack, a move where Sly will immediately dive downward with some slight forward momentum to strike at any opponents below him. If this move connects on opponents at all, it will spike them, making this the only way for Sly to be able to spike someone. The caveat though is that Sly can't stop while diving unless he hits the stage. So if used over the blast zone, no amount of Lucky Charms will be able to save you, and poor Augustine will just be rolling in his grave. And finally, for Sly's down special, this will be his simplest, but by far his most utilized special of them all. His Smoke Bombs! Activating it has Sly throw a smoke bomb at the ground, creating a large smoke cloud in that spot that obstructs all vision behind it. But that's not all! After using it, Sly will automatically make use of the technique learned from the pages of his Egyptian ancestor and the original creator of the Thievius Raccoonus, Slyton Common Cooper I. This technique was Shadow Power, the ability for a Cooper to turn oneself completely invisible. Once Sly procs the smoke bomb, he'll immediately turn himself invisible for a few seconds, more than enough time to gain the upper hand before Sly turns visible again. Whether you use it to get away, get the drop on an unsuspecting foe, or simply to reposition yourself somewhere more suited to your liking, this is a great special to quickly flip the tide in any match. Its only downside is that it can't be spammed. There is a cooldown on it, one that lasts for around 6 or so seconds, so trying to use another smoke bomb too soon will result in failure. The most important thing to keep in mind for this moveset for Sly Cooper is to be heavily aware of your spacing. Just like in the Sly Cooper games, you always want Sly to be positioned in a place where he can easily get the drop on his opponents without the risk of getting caught himself. Take full advantage of his mobility, cunning, and underhanded tactics as a thief. You want to keep yourself in the perfect spot without getting caught in the spotlight. For Sly Cooper's final smash, I call it the Cooper Legacy. This can be a cinematic final smash where Sly dashes forward at blinding speed, and any opponent in his way will be pulled in. The cinematic plays out with Sly, Bentley, and Murray side by side, and behind them, the spirits of the Cooper clan. The gang then rush toward the screen, leading to nothing but onomatopoeias flashing all over the screen over and over, insinuating that the Cooper gang, powered by Sly's ancestors, are beating the ever-living daylights out of the caught foes, which quickly racks up their damage. It all ends with one final large onomatopoeia of the Cooper Gang's symbol sitting front and center. And once the cinematic ends, the foes are launched away, and we just see the Cooper van off, leaving Sly to finish the job. For Sly's colors, his default has him in his usual blue thieves outfit, the perfect color for hiding in the midst of the night. And for his alts, most of them would be terrible for sneaking around, but oh well. His first alt can give him a purple outfit, referencing the tuxedo that he borrowed to attend Rajan's party in Sly 2. His second can be a pink outfit with a golden hat. This references the uniforms of the Venetian Mafia in Sly 3, though more specifically, it references how Sly disguised himself as one of those goons for a few jobs. His third can be a dark indigo outfit. This harkens to the Ninja Sly alternate costume that he could get in the game PlayStation Move Heroes, the game where he gets to meet Ratchet and Clank, as well as Jak and Daxter. Sorry guys, maybe some other time. His next color can be green with a brown hat. This comes from his Archer outfit in Sly 4. The next is a red and black color scheme, referencing his unlockable Ultimate Sly costume, also in Sly 4. And for his last two alts, they can be alternate costumes, with the first showing Sly dressed as the pirate Cantankerous Tim, done so to blend in with other pirates in Sly 3. And his final costume can have Sly in the Jailbird outfit, obtained after letting himself be thrown in prison during his time in the Wild West of 1884. For Sly's stage intro, just like we see in Sly 1, he can be dropped off by Murray in the Cooper getaway van. Showing the van rolling in, Sly jumps out the back, then the van just takes off, ready to pick Sly up once he completes his job. For Sly's taunts, his first can reference an idle animation that he's had in all 4 games, showing Sly take his hat off to wipe his brow, then he flips his hat back onto his head. I can imagine him saying a quote during this, probably something disrespectful. His second taunt can show Sly pulling out his special binocucom and looking around with it. During the taunt, I can see Bentley or Murray chiming in through the comms to cheer Sly on. But while on the subject, you just know that a taunt like this would spark special conversations between Sly and the gang about the other fighters if they were on a Sly Cooper stage. Knowing Bentley, he had to have gotten all the dirt on every Smash fighter long before Sly ever stepped onto the field. I wonder what he'd say about them. In any which case, for Sly's final taunt, it could show him reach his cane forward, then pull it back, after which Sly kind of just shrugs. But this completely changes if you use this taunt directly behind an opponent, because that will lead Sly to pickpocketing that foe, pulling coins out of their back pockets.
But what if they don't have pockets?
Don't think about it too hard. And finally, for Sly's victory animations, his first can show him gliding in on the paraglider, then lands with the same pose that he does after completing missions in Sly 2. His second can replicate his key get animation from Sly 1, where Sly grabs the key, tosses it into the air, snags it on his cane, then tosses it into his backpack while ending with a chill cross-armed pose. Though in this case, he won't be shown with a key. Instead, he'll be shown with a random item from one of the losers, showing that after he beat them, he chose to add insult to injury and took something from them as well. He's a thief. He can't help it. And for Sly's final victory animation, all you see is Sly's tail disappearing to the side of the screen. Then the camera quickly pans to the ground, showing one of the Cooper Gang calling cards just lying there. He successfully stole your win, and he wants you to know exactly who it was that did it. And that will do it for What If Sly Cooper Was in Super Smash Bros. So, if you liked what you saw and would like to see even more characters be given possible Smash Bros. Movesets, be sure to subscribe to my best bro, BJ. And if you're interested in anything that I do, be sure to go check out our group gaming channel, Spiffy Needle Geeks. And if you want to support BJ's show, you can click the join button below the video, the one on his main page, or the link in the description to become a sponsor for his channel. Doing so will get you access to BJ's Discord server, channel emotes, and so much more. And of course, if you have a character that you'd like to see be given a possible Smash Bros. Moveset, leave a comment down below or contact BJ on Twitter at BrawlFan1 on Twit. I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Good night, everybody.